What up? This is the way. That was terrible. That was kind of cringy, actually. Gotta do it the old-fashioned way just in case. It's Mando time. It's Mando time. And you know what happens when it's Mando time? I'll show you. I present to you Yoda's new couple of buddies. And you can't see it because of the reflection. Damn it. What do you think? It's your son! Look! It's your son! This motherfucker. Like, are you serious? Are you... This motherfucker is just the most ungrateful little... Touch me. Alright. So, Mandalorian Season 2. I'm excited. I mean, it feels like it's been a long time, but it's really only been a year. And the last season, you know, ended in a very interesting way. I guess he's gonna try and find the other, like, Yoda species people. Whether or not they'll actually show us something more about Yoda species, who knows? Because really, the only thing Season 1 really showed was that Yoda species, as far as we know, tends to be pretty, I guess, in tune with the Force. Got a lot of midi-chlorians. I heard rumors that, you know, Sabine might be in it from Rebels. Ezra could potentially show up from Rebels. Ahsoka, obviously. A lot of people talked about the possibility of a live-action Ahsoka, which sounds cool. And whether or not they actually, like, I remember hearing that they confirmed it, but at the same time, it's like I have no idea if they actually, you know, if it's actually going to be a thing or not. And I'd like to, you know, get a little bit more about, you know, the actual character Mandalorian. Was it Din Djarin? It was Din Djarin, wasn't it? His IRL name? Even though most of the time he's referred to as Mando or the Mandalorian. I kind of want to know a little bit more, like, about him, because it's kind of hard to read him when he's just wearing his mask, or when he's just wearing the helmet. I mean, you can get a little bit from body language and tone of voice, but you can only go so far with that. So a little bit more, I want to say, characterization, I guess, is needed, because he doesn't trust. Because what kind of characteristics does he have based on Season 1? He doesn't trust droids. He kind of just seemed only interested in just doing a job. But the real thing that, you know, the real thing that I think really sets the Mandalorian up to be a dynamic three-dimensional character is his relationship with the child. That's why I'm saying that Baby Yoda is the greatest thing to happen in Star Wars in years. Because if they had not gone that route with the Mandalorian, like if they had done like just some other random, like if they done like some Twi'lek child or something like that, it would not have worked nearly as well. Would not have worked nearly as well. It would have felt like The Last of Us, kind of. Speaking of The Last of Us, I finished The Last of Us Part 2 on YouTube. Make sure you go check that video out. I don't know how else to promote my shit. Just fucking watch it and subscribe too. The biggest thing is how much deeper is the relationship between the Mandalorian and the child going to get? Like, is there going to be a point where they're actually going to be able to communicate with each other? Because that was a big thing in season 1, was because the child is literally a 50-year-old baby, and by being a baby, it hasn't learned how to speak verbally. So I wonder if that'll be something that progresses, you know, an ability for them to actually kind of communicate, other than just that every once in a while like thing when he was scratched and he was like trying to bandage himself up, and then Baby Yoda was reaching out, you know, like trying to heal him, and then he just picks him up and throws him into the carrier, and then the baby gets back out, tries to force heal again, just picks him up and throws him back in the carrier. Like, that whole scene exists purely because the child doesn't know how to communicate yet. And the only reason why they let him heal the other guy later on was because at that point it had been established that the child has force abilities and is force sensitive. First reaction series ever. I mostly have been doing gaming on this channel. I have, like I said before, The Last of Us Part 2, finished the whole series. I have Ghost of Tsushima, which is still a work in progress. I also have a streaming channel on Facebook, same name as my YouTube, and I do a lot of various stuff on there. Warzone, Rogue Company, various multiplayer shooter games. Sometimes I'll actually stream my single player playthrough sometimes. No, it's not Rogue. It's Star Wars Squadrons from EA. Still need to complete that game, and at some point I do plan, because I am a fan of Nintendo, and I've actually been in my own free time been playing Breath of the Wild again, and that game is so good. It's so good. That game is so good. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my god. After this second playthrough of Breath of the Wild, it might be my favorite game of all time, potentially. I love Breath of the Wild. It's a Nintendo game. You know what else is from Nintendo? Mario 3D All-Stars. I have never played any of those 3 games ever in my life. No joke. I want to play them. And I want you guys to see how well I can play old school Mario platforming games. Anyways, we are not here about gaming. We are here about these guys. This absolutely beautiful pair of beautiful people. Beautiful. Let's do it. Gamorreans fighting each other. Damn. Oh, he sent it. Wow. Ooh, that's vibro. Demonetization before getting monetized. Come here, boy. Is that like Elven rope? Dude, this dude been the Lothlorien?
The Mando I know of is on Tatooine.
Boba!
Tatooine it is then.
Oh, it's her again. Those are very CGI droids.
Looks like it remembers me. How much do you want for it? Just kidding, but not really.
I'm here on business.
Sheesh.
I need your help.
They dumber than Jar Jar. Oh, this is cool. That's cool. That's really cool. Like, I love that he's like able to like be peaceful and communicate. You know what I mean? It's so cool. It's like a gunslinger just like walking his horse through like a like Western town, you know what I mean? Everyone's just kind of looking at him. I love how they make the show feel like you're watching like a literal spaghetti Western, but within the Star Wars universe. It's awesome.
What brings you here, stranger?
Wait, is that Boba's armor, but like some dude salvaged it? That's not Boba though. But that's his armor. What? What is? That's Boba! Who is? It's not him though.
I've never met a real Mandalorian.
Wait. Who is it? So does that mean Boba's dead? Does that mean Boba's dead? This dude looks like a younger Pierce Brosnan. Huh? What is happening?
Maybe we can work something out.
What? He definitely just doesn't look like he fits in the outfit, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't look like it belongs to him, you know? It just doesn't feel right. It does look good though. Oh god, it looks good.
But I know where it lives.
Apart from that shitty looking red shirt he's wearing. That is fucking cool, dude. That is so cool. Like what? Like what?
Became a slave camp overnight.
That's whack.
I was saved.
By Jawas? Interesting.
It bought my freedom.
Wow. He just looks so lanky. He just looks so lanky and skinny in it. So it gave him a confidence boost. It's my theory. I think he's bullshitting. I think he's full of shit. Huh. That's funny. Ah. Oh. Oh. They were so like kind of different looking. I didn't recognize that those were like the things from Attack of the Clones. They speak in Arnold. Abandoned.
Abandoned Sarlacc pit.
There is if you eat the Sarlacc.
I love how the little baby's just learning. He's just, you know, he's, from his perspective, he's just exploring and learning new things. I love it. Oh, this is a cool shot. Yo, dude, that's... Oh, he's freaking out. Oh, he went straight for him. He went straight for him. What the fuck? He went straight for him. He said, fuck the Bantha. You're the Bantha, bitch.
They might be open to some fresh ideas.
That's fucked. That's fucked, dude.
We have struck a deal. If we are willing to leave them the carcass and its ichor, they will stand by our side in battle and vow never to raise a blaster against this town until one of you breaks the peace.
That seems like a pretty good deal to me. You know, like it seems like a pretty good deal. What do you guys think? Perfect. The thing is so cool looking. Mandalorian loves montages. Yeah, that's the part where you just... I would run immediately. I would run immediately after screaming. I would run as I'm screaming. The frame ratio just changed, dude. Whoa! Whoa!
Ow!
Yo, this is insane. Yo, it's got acid freaking vomit or some shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's insane. They're all dying. Like, the whole town's gonna be dead. There's not even, like, is there anyone even left? At this point, like, they've lost at least half. Oh, fly. Fly. Get it to eat the bantha. Oh, he's gonna get it to eat the bantha. With all the explosives. Make it blow from the inside. Oh, of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. He used oh! That was lit. Wong? Does seem like the Crate Dragon is designed differently than back in Knights of the Old Republic. Knights of the Old Republic, it had, like, you know, it was more like a giant Komodo dragon, more so than this. This was like some weird, I don't know what the hell this was. It's like some weird, like, Tremor centipede kind of thing. He'll show up he'll be in the finale. He'll be in, like, the last 2 episodes. He'll be recruited. A pearl, huh? Wait, was that in Knights of the Old Republic? I think it was. Yeah, there was. It was like an upgrade but wasn't it like an upgrade for your lightsaber? I think so. There's Boba. There's Boba. There he is. There he is. Yeah! Oh, that made me so happy. I knew they were gonna do it. Like, I knew that. My boy, he lived, dude. He ain't a bitch. Doesn't matter what happened in Return of the Jedi. He ain't a bitch. Boba motherfucking Fett. Let's go. Let's go, dude. That's lit. Oh, I'm so glad they actually. I mean, I knew they confirmed that. What's the actor's name? What's the actor's name? I'm a bot for forgetting his name, but the guy that played Jango Fett in the prequels, the guy that was the original clone in the films. So I wonder if that's just gonna be like a, hey, guess what? Boba Fett lived, or is he gonna show up at a later point? It looked like he had a Tusken Raider rifle on his back. I'm not gonna go back and, you know, go frame by frame and do all that stuff on it. That's because it was like an hour. It was like 50 minutes. But yeah, he had the little thing at the beginning, you know, with from the trailer, where the guy like the 5 different guns pointing at him, you know, like that Eugene from Tangled meme where he's got like 1,000 swords pointed at him, basically that. And then, you know, he does the, you know, whistling birds, and Baby Yoda goes, time to hide. I love that. Because that's actually, I mean, even though it was in the trailer, that's an example of the type of progression of communication that I want to see. That's a very minimal example, a very small minimal example, because that's just literally just a visual cue. Like when the child sees the whistling birds activated, that's like he's seen that happen enough times to know that means that Mando is about to fight. So at the very least, they're starting to understand each other more and be able to read and like from my take on the child in this episode is he basically was just an observer, and obviously that's because the plot wasn't really focused on the child. It was focused on, and of course, in good Mandalorian style, it resulted in him basically activating a side quest. We have never seen the Tusken Raiders actually cooperating with Western civilization. It's very interesting to, see that happen in Star Wars, in the Star Wars context. Because the only times we've ever really seen the Tusken Raiders is they're either kind of, saw them in episode 1, they were literally just shooting at the pod racers. They killed one of them. Episode 2, find out that they captured Shmi and was like torturing her or whatever. I don't understand why they were doing that. Episode 3, they're not in it at all. Episode 4, they ambushed Luke and just starts trying to scrap his speeder, and then Obi-Wan chases them away, and they're clearly scared of Obi-Wan because they probably have been around, because Obi-Wan's been around long enough for him to probably have killed a few Tusken Raiders that have tried to get at him. So they're probably scared to death of him. He's probably proved to them that he can use the Force, and they're like, oh shit, last time we fucked with a Force user, he literally wiped out an entire camp. We're not fucking with this guy. So it was really cool in the last season of The Mandalorian when he kind of like almost made a deal with them. He basically traded the binoculars for like a free pass to go across like the dunes or whatever, like their territory basically. That was cool. But then in this episode, they just took that an even further. And not only is the Mandalorian communicating with them, but he's communicating between the Tusken Raiders and the Western civilizations. He's basically becoming a liaison, whatever, between those two civilizations. The Krayt Dragon fight scene at the end. First thing that I noticed was that the frame ratio changed slowly. Like it didn't cut and then all of a sudden it was IMAX ratio. It like you saw like the black bars like slowly get smaller. Like it looked like it was it looked like the screen was expanding almost. It was very cool. It like shocked me. I wasn't expecting it. And it made that entire sequence so much cooler. Watching it in 4K is amazing. I love it. I love my 4K TV. I love it. It was worth every penny. And just that thing was savage. Like how many of the Tusken Raiders and actual townspeople are left? Like I feel like he had to have wiped out at bare minimum. He wiped out at least 40% of the people that were there. Each little like run or pass or spew of acid that he did, he took out at least 2 to 3 people. So I feel like he took out at least 20 to 30 people in that sequence. So there's no way. Like that town was already small enough as it is. There was like at most 8-10 buildings in that little town. Like yeah, Mando was right. I'm surprised too that town didn't get swallowed up already. I would not live there. I would leave. I'd rather be a slave for Watto and Mos Eisley. And then the whole Boba Fett thing. I saw the armor, like he showed up and he was wearing the armor. And I mean, and immediately my brain wanted to go, it's Boba Fett. Oh my God, it's Boba Fett. But then like half a second later, I was like, it looks like Boba Fett, but it doesn't. And it wasn't. It was some dude, some Pierce Brosnan looking dude who found it, because I guess the Jawas found it. But the thing is, I don't know how the Jawas got it if Boba's still alive. So the thing is, I'm hoping that at some point we can find out how he got out of the Sarlacc pit. I'm assuming he probably still had something. Maybe he had like a thermal detonator or something, or an extra rocket in his like wrist or something like that. Like who knows? Maybe he had like some type of, maybe he did what Mando did, and like electrocuted the inside of like the Sarlacc and it spat him out or something. Who knows? Regardless, he somehow got out, and then somehow parted ways with the armor. maybe he did it on purpose because he just doesn't. Maybe there's some weird story happening where he's just leaving behind his past as Boba Fett. Maybe it's almost like a rebirth type of thing, or like a reincarnation type of thing, where now he feels like his life is meant to be someone other than Boba Fett the bounty hunter. Who knows? Because I mean, in that final shot, he was watching the Mandalorian basically drive away in the speeder with his Boba Fett armor. When it didn't seem like he was like, oh, I found out where it is, so now I'm gonna go get it from the Mando. I feel like it was more like the new old hermit of Tatooine that is just kind of, that you kind of just hear urban legends about. So who knows? Hopefully we see more of him. Hopefully it's not just like some stupid cameo. Like, it would be really annoying, because literally months ago they basically confirmed that he was cast to be in season 2. So I swear to God, if all of that hype that they created over him being confirmed to be in the show, just to have like 5 seconds of that, I'm gonna be like, fuck you, Disney. You did it to me again. You got me hyped about Luke Skywalker in the sequels, and I got like 10 seconds of him in Force Awakens, and then he was a bum in Episode 8. But the Mandalorian, but Boba Fett's armor looked so good though. I mean, it didn't look great on the guy. Like, that red shirt that he was wearing underneath the armor, nah, dude. Nah, that was not working for me at all. He looked like trash with that on. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. Get some freaking something more skin tight, okay? Show off your muscles a little bit, you know? Instead, he's just wearing like this baggy looking freaking maroon sweatshirt, and it just makes him look gimpy as fuck. Like the way he was wearing his helmet. But I think they did that on purpose, you know, to have a contrast between someone who wasn't raised as a Mandalorian, doesn't understand the Mandalorian culture, knows nothing really about the Mandalorian's older culture other than stories. You take someone like that wearing Mandalorian armor and you compare it to someone who was picked up and raised as a child by the Mandalorians and has lived by the Mandalorian creed borderline his entire life. And you can see the difference in like the way that they present themselves. And that's definitely something they did on purpose. They purposely made him not look as flattering in that armor as Mando does in his armor. Because the Mandalorian's a real Mandalorian, and the other guy's a fake Mandalorian. He's not a real Mandalorian. I mean, technically Boba Fett wasn't a real Mandalorian either, but that's besides the point. Okay? That's besides the point. The point is, because that guy lacks the knowledge and context and appreciation of Mandalorian culture, he isn't able to wear that armor with the same level of dignity as an actual Mandalorian would. And in the case of Boba Fett, it's not that he looked cool just because, oh, it's Boba Fett. He was basically the original Mandalorian because he was the first one we ever saw to wear Mandalorian armor. Okay, that's true. The reason why people give him a pass because he's technically not a Mandalorian is because he looks cool, and the reason why Mandalorians ever became a thing was because Boba Fett's armor looked cool, and they literally created an entire culture around the character Boba Fett, which is very ironic. Like literally an entire war-mongering civilization was created based off the fact that the Star Wars fan base loved the look of a random enemy character in the old movies. It's very interesting. And and then they decide to make that character who inspired that culture and say, no, he's actually not a part of that culture at all. I mean, yeah, he looks exactly like him, and he was the inspiration for that culture, but he's not part of it. Like, that's weird. It's weird. But I'm ready to see what's gonna happen next. Like, I'm already seeing the trend. You know, like the Mandalorian likes to have their episodes feel both progressive in the overall story arc, but also it feels like each episode has like its own small story that kind of completes itself by the end. And that happened in like almost all of the episodes in season 1. The only exception was episode 7 and 8. Those kind of were like back to back almost. In terms of actual progression in discovering more Jedi or more Mandalorians, I mean, we found Boba Fett, but he's not a real Mandalorian. And whether or not he's gonna actually make contact with with Mando, like, we don't know. No idea if that's gonna actually happen. He could have easily just been some cheap camo for the hype. I'll be very upset if that happens, but it could easily have been what happened. Because he has the armor, so I wonder what's gonna. I'm interested to see what's gonna happen with Boba Fett's armor. You know, what is he gonna do with it? Is someone gonna end up wearing it at some point? I guess between the beginning of season 1 and the beginning of season 2 is in the beginning of season 1, you weren't really sure where the overall story was gonna go, and then by the end of the first episode, you're like, oh, okay, so I kind of see where the story's gonna go. He's found this baby, and it has a bounty on it, but he wants to keep it alive and protect it. So that's probably what the season's about, him protecting the baby, and that's what it was about. Beginning of season 2, we already know what he plans on doing throughout the season. So the thing is, is the overall story going to take a left turn in terms of him searching for the Jedi / Yoda species / other Mandos? Or is it just going to be a bunch of like these self-contained episodes where he gets bits and pieces of progression, and then the last 2 episodes a bunch of stuff happens? We still have the stuff with the remnants of the Empire, like Moff Gideon. He's gonna come back at some point, so we have that to look forward to as well. So hell yeah, I cannot wait. If you guys can't wait either, subscribe. There's usually a little thing down here throughout the video, and I usually put a little subscribe thing here at the end of the videos, typically. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and you're just as excited about this new season as I am, and you want to follow along with me. Subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Check me out on the next video, and the next one, and the next one. Check out some of my older stuff, some of my gaming stuff. Check out my Twitter, so you'll always know when my videos come out, because I always post when why am I talking like this? I don't know why I'm talking like this. Huh? I'll be right back. I gotta beat the shit out of this motherfucker. He won't fucking stop. He won't fucking stop. Sick and tired.